Hi, I'm Shana Lipner-Grover from Sage Country Herbs, and we're here in San Diego at Balboa Park's Trees for Health Garden, and we're going to go visit some of our plant friends. I'd like to introduce another one of the medicinal trees from around the world, and that is the one right behind me here. This is Melaleuca alternifolia, also known more commonly as the tea tree, but it also has a common name of the paper bark tree. And I love looking at this bark because it really shows where that paper bark name comes from. It's very papery, it's very thin, and obviously it's very shedding. So Melaleuca is native to Australia, and it is very endemic there, and it loves to grow in wet, swampy environments, often along the edges of streams. Where it likes to grow, it often will become a dominant tree or shrub. So very woody, commonly has evergreen leaves. This tree is part of the Myrtaceae family, the myrtle family. So other members of this family are well known for their aromatics, things like cloves and allspice, and of course, eucalyptus. So the tea tree, I find to be a really fascinating tree because in the West, the area that it's known for the most is its essential oil. Now, I know for myself, I have been using the essential oil of tea tree since I was a teenager. I remember learning about it, looking into holistic ways to deal with my acneic skin. And I used tea tree very, very commonly to great effect. So I really loved it. But the thing that I find the most fascinating is that most people who use tea tree oil, the essential oil of the tea tree, have never actually met the tree itself. Meanwhile, you have like the really common and really popular essential oil of, say, lavender. Most people have met a lavender plant, have smelled its leaves and its flowers. But until I actually came to the Trees for Health, this walk in Balboa Park, this is the first time I got to smell the tea tree. And the coolest thing was that I went up and I squished a leaf and I smelled it, and it immediately transported me back to being 15 years old and dotting my little acne with that scent. Now, of course, essential oil is not the primary way that it was originally used. Many different indigenous cultures of Australia have used tea tree historically as a steam inhalation for sinus and bronchial infections and inflammation, as well as just crushing the leaves and breathing it to help open up bronchial passages, to open up congested airways. The leaves have been used to create a wound wash, both in making a tea and using that to wash a wound, or to actually dry it and powder it and use it as a wound powder. It also, of course, has a wide range of antimicrobial, antiseptic, and antifungal activity. There's even been some clinical studies showing having some antiprotozoan activity. Now, we do want to be careful with tea tree internally, especially because the most common way of using it is essential oil. We want to be really careful about that. Inhaling is wonderful. Another great way that we can use it, infuse the leaves into an oil, and then you can use them as a chest rub or as or to rub on a sore throat externally, or to just put a little dot under your nose and be able to really help open up your sinuses when you're dealing with a lot of things like allergies. So I really, really appreciate this plant and this tree. So what would be some of the other characteristics that we would recognize? Well, when I first came upon this tree, the first thing I thought is that it reminded me of a conifer because it's got these really cool, what are called linear leaves. They are evergreen, and that is common of the family. Commonly evergreen, meaning they don't drop their leaves. The leaves are commonly alternate, and that's where it gets its species name from. Melaleuca alternifolia. Folia means leaf. Altern means alternate. The leaves are alternating each other off of the stem. But the real key to it not being a conifer at all, because it doesn't have any cones. Conifers, by definition, create their seeds in cones. and actually date back older than our flowering plants. Melaleuca is very much a flowering plant, as we can see by these big, beautiful, fluffy white flowers. Really, really gorgeous. From afar, the tree actually looks like it's rather fluffy and soft, and you just want to like go up and give it a hug because it's absolutely beautiful from a distance. I remember the first time I saw this tree in flower, I knew it was a tea tree, but I hadn't seen it in flower. And I came down here and we're walking around the Trees for Health, and it was, oh, it was striking. So incredibly beautiful. And the way that it draws in pollinators with all of those beautiful white flowers, they're all fluffy and they're all moving in the breeze. Absolutely gorgeous. I can only imagine where it grows endemic in Australia, seeing an edge of a stream just covered in these big, beautiful, fluffy white trees. So I hope you have the opportunity to come down to the Trees for Health walk down here at Balboa Park. And if not, you can check out more of these videos, and I'll see you next time.